in. I'm Lainey.
And I'm Laura Beth.
And we are Steel Magnolias.
Two sisters who love family, traditions, and all things Southern.
We've got plenty of room at our table, so pull up a chair.
Well, welcome back, Lainey.
Thank you, Laura Beth.
We're recording a little later.
That's right.
This evening.
I had a road trip.
We'll talk about a little later in
That's
our topic today. But, hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so
cheers.
we have vanilla chai old fashions.
Yes, I saw this recipe. Actually, I saw it on Pinterest.
Okay.
And it just seemed so wintry that I wanted to make it.
It's wonderful.
Isn't it good?
Now, I will say I love spiced things. I love chai.
Yeah.
I love cinnamon. So,
If
this
you-
is a home run.
It's a home
I
run.
knew I would love
If you
this.
like that. That's what I wanted to, that was one of the comments I was going to make, is if you like chai and you like bourbon, I think you'll like this. If you
Easy.
don't like chai, this might not be the one to try.
And you don't like bourbon, this is going to be
Definitely
a hard sell.
not the one to try. But it's got like a wintry, spicy
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
But it's fairly easy to make. You do make like a simple syrup of the chai tea and
Yes.
the vanilla first.
That's
and then
cool.
and it's got even maple syrup in it.
Oh my
in
gosh.
the simple syrup. And so that's your sweetener.
So
But
I'm drinking a lot of calories right now,
No.
too, is what I'm hearing you say.
That's
But that's
not that
okay.
bad.
'Tis the season.
But it's, bourbon, orange bitters, lemon juice, and then the simple syrup. And so,
Good.
and then you put the little cinnamon stick and little star anise in there,
So
which to
good.
me also is so wintry looking.
Yes.
So enjoy that as we chat with our
Well,
wonderful listeners.
I'll have to post you need to give me the link so I
I'll
can
do
put
it.
it in our show notes. I did something that was a warm cider that I thought resembled this in color this
Okay.
weekend because I
Okay.
had cinnamon sticks. I didn't have the star anise.
I have
Is
some
that
I
how
can
you
send
say
you
that?
with if you like.
Anise?
Yeah, and I actually don't love licorice, so it's a very licorice flavor. But I
Yeah.
like it in this just sitting in there because
Right.
it looks Christmassy.
So I probably, then I'm glad I didn't go out and get them for my cider because I would have
Cooking it?
cooking it.
Yeah, I
so
wouldn't
that would have
want to do
cooked in
that.
that flavor. Well, I just did a spiked cider.
Oh,
Let me make
yeah.
sure I say that correctly, y'all. Just in the crock pot.
yeah,
Oh, so good. So
That's
I just,
fun.
You can buy already
like
spiced
mulling
ciders.
spices. Oh, that's true. You can.
Or you can buy an apple cider and then add some mulling spices and
Yeah.
do it yourself. But, I just had some lemon slices in it and some cinnamon
Nice.
sticks. And then right before I was ready to taste it, I put in some whiskey.
Okay,
It was good.
that even sounds like it would be good for a sore throat.
Yeah, with the lemon especially,
You know?
too. Like, I think the recipe actually called for orange slices.
Okay.
But I had lemon. So
There you go.
when life gives you lemons, you put it in the crock pot. Well, I could actually jump in, but before I do, we had some updates that were requested of you on how Marie Kondoing your life
How
is
it's
doing,
going.
your organization detox that you're
Okay,
doing.
so I'm going to give a nutshell update.
Okay.
I would say it's going really well.
Okay.
I think I mentioned when I was talking about it before, you go in categories, not like by room.
Yes, which most people would probably go by room. But
And
yeah.
it's very different than doing it the way any other clean out I've ever done, because I pick a closet or I pick
I
a
do
room.
too. That's what I do. Yeah.
And
It feels like a box I can check
absolutely
more easily.
And I would also say I'm not sure that this is just seems to be a really good method for me.
Okay.
It seems to really be working for me.
Yeah.
Whereas, for somebody else, they might like a different method. But I have completed clothing.
Wow. Is that where she wants you to start?
That's your first
Okay.
category is clothing.
Okay.
All clothing.
Okay.
So I completed clothing.
Okay.
And my closet looks very different.
Wow. Well, I saw.
It
You
looks
let me
very
see
different.
your closet.
And so much more enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
The second category was books.
Did you do a before and after photo?
I didn't.
Shoot. You should have.
I should have.
Books is a big category for you.
It was a hard category for me. So I ended up taking 11 boxes of books to our public library.
Sweet.
11
Wow.
boxes.
Wow.
It's a lot of books.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
those
that
weren't
was
shoe boxes.
No, I would say probably that equaled close to 300 books.
Wow.
That's a lot of books.
That's
gone.
a lot of books.
The next category is paper, but I put a pause button on this because of the holidays.
That is a big category. So paper is
Paper's
all
going
paper.
to include all paper, so stationery, but also
Is that photo albums?
no
Okay.
bank statements and
Okay.
checkbooks
Okay.
and owner's manuals and warranties and anything paper.
Yeah, cards that you've been given. Yeah.
Yeah, well, sentimental items is the very last category.
Oh, okay.
So technically
That's
if
not.
it's,
Okay.
that's
okay.
going to go, and that's where photos are also.
Okay.
She wants that to be last because those are the hardest to
Well,
shed.
and you've also gotten so warmed up to
The method and also
getting rid of
how
things.
much cleaner things are looking and all that you're
Yeah.
then on a kind of more of a roll.
Yeah, you see the benefit already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. It's on a pause till after the holidays. Just mostly not because I didn't want it, like because it would interfere with the holidays, but it's because you pull everything out.
Yeah.
So I can't have a
Puts your
room
home in
upside
disarray.
down.
Yeah.
And then having people coming in
Yeah.
and out. So
excuse my pile of paper. I'm on the paper step right now.
don't look at the living room. I mean, that, I can't say that. So anyway, that's where I am, and we'll do more updates on that at a later date.
It's good. Keep at it.
Thank you.
Proud of you. Proud of you, sis. Well, we are talking Christmas in small towns across the South today, which are in full swing. Many
Yes.
of them have already had their Christmas parades. We already had ours this weekend here in Franklin. But
Tree lightings, most of those have already happened.
we just thought this would be fun if somebody is still going to be looking for a place to go, or even if you just didn't realize something was nearby you.
That's right.
That is in driving distance. And just kind of fun to know about how different towns celebrate.
Yeah.
But we wanted to focus on small towns.
Right.
So we're not talking the Nashville, Dallas, and Atlantas of the South. We may be going into those suburbs of those cities. But yeah. So I would say if you are looking for a tender Tennessee Christmas, I can help you out because I have lots of Tennessee places.
Yeah. That's our home, so that's what we know best.
Should we start with Franklin just because it's home, and then we'll go from there?
Let's do it.
So
Franklin does a lot of festivals.
Yeah.
And personally, Dickens of a Christmas is my favorite one.
Yes. So we have it on a Saturday and Sunday, usually the mid-December sort of weekend every year. This is going to be the 35th annual.
Okay.
And it is a Victorian celebration of all things Charles Dickens.
That's right.
So it is not just the Christmas story. You see Dickens characters from all of his books.
Uh-huh.
But
I have a good friend he's from Oliver Twist's, he's Fagin.
Yes. And he's picking
he's
pockets.
Hysterical.
Yes.
Such a great character.
Teaching kids how to pick pockets. Yeah. But I guess somehow it got on Oprah's radar.
Oh, yes. She
So-
just did a list.
She did a list, as she does. And so Franklin actually made the list of the top, how many was it?
She worded it 19, this was the wording, 19 most magical Christmas towns across the world.
The world. So like Germany, Switzerland, I mean, really picturesque, winterized, snow-covered towns are in this list.
And number 3,
Franklin.
Franklin, Tennessee.
Hashtag visit Franklin. So, but I think primarily she was drawn to the Dickens festival.
The 2-day Dickens of a Christmas festival is what is mentioned in the list.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got, carriage rides that are around the square, different, as we mentioned, characters are staying in character and would love to take photos with you.
That's right.
So,
I love the part where in the middle of the street they block everything off so you can just walk everywhere.
Yeah.
But there's some dancing that happens where men and women are doing like the country dancing.
Yes. So it's like a square formation, but it's couples and it's
where you trade partners beautiful. And all that. That's really pretty. And a lot of people do come in costume. I mean, attendees. Yes. Not just...
Mom went in costume one year, and her picture made the paper.
That's
Good for her.
So sweet.
But yeah, I just, Tiny Tim, Marley, Ghost of Christmas Past, Ebenezer Scrooge, they're all there.
They're all there walking around for photos, and it's adorable.
And I would just say, obviously we are biased, but our main street is very picturesque at Christmas time.
Our Christmas tree on the square is stunning.
It is. We have a beautiful historic movie theater that is restored and currently plays old Christmas movies all month. I mean, we've
joked before when we've come out of that theater after seeing It's a Wonderful Life, and we're like, we live in Bedford Falls.
We do. We do.
It looks like we live in Bedford
that's why
Falls.
It's on the list. It's a little Bedford Falls. We also have this sign that is atop a very popular and populated intersection in town that comes up only at Christmas time, which says Noel. Now, it's actually from a hotel that was in downtown Nashville called the Noel, but the owner of the Franklin building was married to the family of the Noels, and so when the hotel went down, she brought it back here, and so they put that up at Christmas time.
It's so cute.
And it's very picturesque and fun to see when the Noel, it's
and
almost like
the lights on it.
And exciting to see the Christmas tree lit up, but also exciting when the Noel sign
stands up,
goes up.
That's right.
So just
so sweet. And there's other things going on just in store windows and stuff like that are period things. Like they may be showing how to make soap or
like during the Dickens festival.
During this festival, right? So it's just cute.
Sugar plums and
chestnuts
roasting
chestnuts and I think I even heard there's going to be figgy pudding this year, and I don't remember
I've never had that.
Having seen that there.
Yeah,
I saw somebody was doing that.
That's fun.
So
cool. Yeah. Well, again, we love it, but also now Oprah loves it, so maybe that's going to open up even more floodgates
of people
that are coming. So.
Also on Oprah's 19 most magical Christmas towns across the world, I just jotted down the ones that were in the South.
Oh, yes.
Do you want me to just touch those real quick?
What are those?
Williamsburg, Virginia, which we've mentioned before is a cool city to visit any time of year. But they do caroling by torchlight. They do a gun salute display.
Cool.
All the homes in the historic area all have candles in the windows.
Pretty. I bet that looks gorgeous.
Busch Gardens, that's pretty nearby there, is my understanding. Like they do some kind of not the Busch Gardens that I think of Florida, but
I do too.
There is a Busch Gardens light display near Williamsburg.
Okay.
That's 10 million lights.
What?
It's the largest in North America. I don't know exactly what that entails, but they do a tree lighting in the market square. So Williamsburg might be a fun visit. And that was also on Oprah's list, as was Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay.
Which has 18th century row houses, and they have the carolers and the handbell choir and lots of those traditional things. And Mount Vernon is not too far from there, and I think that would be cool to see at Christmas too.
Yeah,
so
that's
there you
cool.
Go.
Well, good list.
Yeah.
Staying in Tennessee just for a moment.
Sure. Let's do.
A listener told me about this one, so thank you for the tip off, Cassie. So she told me in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Okay. Home of Jack Daniels.
Okay, so they do a Christmas tree made out of 140 barrels.
No.
Jack Daniels
that's
does.
Adorable.
That they put out for the public to enjoy. Which is great. Love it. Very cool way to tie in Christmas into probably the largest commerce that city has ever seen. But what I thought was cool was, so in addition to the barrel tree in Lynchburg, they are also going to do trees in Chicago, Dallas, Milwaukee, and Nashville as a fundraiser, because if you want to, you can buy, they're auctioning off the top barrel of each of those trees in those cities that I just mentioned to benefit Operation Ride Home, which is a program that helps junior enlisted members of the armed services to be able to connect with their family to either come home or get to like a location that maybe they can all meet at.
Okay.
So,
that's very cool.
Anyway, I actually might put the link in our show notes if anyone's interested in bidding on one of those barrels. I just thought that was really cool.
That's fun.
And I got a photo too that I'll post at some point this week of the 140 barreled, tree. But yeah, I mean, Lynchburg's fun to visit, of course, because of the distillery, but they have a great town square with just fun shops and
they do a big barbecue festival we've mentioned in the summer.
Yes.
But I bet that is cute at Christmas. Yeah. It's such a traditional little town square.
That's who that town is. Yeah. So they're just embracing it. And
that's right.
Yeah. So.
Very cool.
That's Lynchburg. Let's see. I do want to talk about Christmas in the Smokies. Okay. Dolly Parton has definitely brought awareness to the Smoky Mountains.
Absolutely.
Because that is where she's from, in the Sevierville area. But it's just a great place to visit with your family, with
very family
friends, with if you have a large group that needs like a massive cabin to rent, like
those are available. With hot tubs and
there's just a lot to do. So when I'm talking about the Smoky Mountains, I'm talking about the kind of that whole area of Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. All of those cities are very close together and very drivable. Mm-hmm. If you're staying in one, you could go do something in the other. But you could do Christmas at Dollywood, and that would be sweet. Basically, the whole park is decorated with gorgeous decorations. You can ride rides, delicious food, all of that. But there is shows and more shows.
Oh, I'm sure.
In Pigeon Forge.
There's even a store there. I mean, it's hopping year-round. That's a Christmas ornament store.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what all they do.
That's true. I forgot about that store. Yeah. So, I mean, whether you're looking for, like, a musical act or a comedy show, I mean...
You could find it up there.
And Christmas-themed, I'm saying. Yeah. You could ski in Gatlinburg.
That's true.
It's fake snow, but Ober-Gatlinburg would have skiing available. Like I mentioned, really charming mountaintop rentals of chalets and different cabins of everything from, like, sleeps 4 people to, like, 18 and 24 people. Yeah. Like, I mean, really big places. So, anyway, I think
Gosh, that would be fun. To have your whole family in the Smokies.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah. And then... there is a great Smoky Mountains railroad holiday tour as well. So I wanted to mention that because that is, it's basically like a Polar Express.
Okay.
And the Polar Express, from the book and the movie, has several Polar Express trains across the United States.
Okay.
And the Great Smoky Mountains area is one of those.
Okay.
So not exclusive to them, but definitely.
That's neat.
Seems like a really fun thing to do.
Well, your son's getting really into trains, so we may have to do that at some point in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and our mom loves trains.
Right. And we do too.
I do too. So it seems
fitting.
Yeah, seems like he inherited that for sure. What you got?
Well, speaking of trains, I know that there is a Blue Ridge Scenic Railway Santa Express train.
Yes.
In the Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Yes.
Did you have anything on that that you wanted to mention?
I'll go ahead and mention trains since we're kind of talking about that because, I mean, for some reason, maybe it's the Polar Express, but trains seem to go hand in hand with Christmas to me.
I agree. I mean, even thinking about growing up, you would see people that had them around the base of the tree.
We have one around the base of our tree right now.
They do seem to go hand in hand.
I'm not really
even
sure.
Before Polar Express.
Exactly. So,
we have the Santa train we've mentioned before that goes through Appalachia.
Yeah.
With Santa on it throwing gifts off and.
Yeah. So it's funny because, Santa travels by sleigh, but anyway, trains are definitely. So yes, in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and this has already started and continues to go for several weeks, that you can ride the Blue Ridge Scenic Railway. It is Yuletide themed Santa Express, and kids get to chat with Santa.
Oh.
And he will read to them "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
That's sweet.
And I think it's a 1-hour experience. So definitely doable with kids, especially if you've got little squirmy ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plus they probably ticket that and get ride after ride after ride
for
going.
sure.
If it's an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a couple more that I would mention that sound really fun. Chattanooga has a Christmas dinner train.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get to enjoy a delicious meal in vintage dining cars that are decorated for the holidays. This is the Tennessee Valley Railroad. Yeah. So you can get tables from 2 to 8 people reserved.
Okay.
And, so you could do date night or girls'
romantic
night out.
Or fun festive. Yeah.
And then they have more family-friendly oriented ventures that they call Santa's Hiwassee Holiday Train and the Somerville Santa Special. Those are all out of Chattanooga.
Okay.
But that sounds fun. And then the last one I would mention on trains, this just sounds so fun to me. It's Denton, North Carolina.
Oh, I've heard of this, yes.
Okay. So they have Denton Farm Park's Country Christmas Train, and you get to experience an evening of festive sights and activities, and you visit a church to sing carols.
Cute.
You stop by Santa's cabin. You venture through the general store.
Okay.
You go into a gingerbread house.
How sweet.
I mean, is this not amazing?
And this is a small town. I think I saw that the population's like less than 3,000. So
okay.
I bet this is so cute.
Tickets start at $13 for adults. And I'll just tell you that is about a third of all these other train rides I've been talking about. So,
if you're close to Denton,
that's an affordable Christmas train
right.
for sure. That sounds fun.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's all I had on trains, but trains are definitely...
Well, I want to talk about where I went this weekend.
Do tell.
I went to a Christmas festival.
You did.
In Dahlonega, Georgia.
Yes.
Now, Dahlonega makes some Christmas lists. I know they made... was it the Southern Living?
They're on Southern Living's list
of 25 best small towns.
I don't know if they're on that one, but they're on several.
I think it was that one that they were on. Anyhow, Dahlonega is just an adorable small mountain. It's in the North Georgia.
I didn't realize it was in the mountains.
It's in the mountains. It's adorable.
That's good to know.
It's also the home of University of North Georgia. Now, I say that because... you can feel, I just love a college town. We've talked about that before. There is just a cool vibe of a college town.
There's energy.
There's good musicians around.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went in this one little shop that was like totally bohemian, incense burning, band t-shirts. I was in heaven because I love all that stuff. Yeah. I was with 2 college friends for this visit. Yeah. And so they were like, oh my God, Lainey, this is your store.
They know. Yeah.
And I said, well, it definitely would have been,
in the day.
In the day. And one of my friends said, I can't believe a store like this can make it selling just this kind of stuff in Dahlonega, Georgia. And I'm like, well, it's a college town.
Right.
And she was like, oh yeah, it's a college town. Yeah. So anyway, all of that to say, college towns do have usually good bookstores, good musicians, like good...
yeah, cheap places to eat.
Yeah, cool pizza joints and stuff like that.
Pizza joints, that's true.
So that's what Dahlonega, it definitely had all of that.
Yes.
And this particular weekend that we went included the Christmas parade.
Okay. Did you know that going in, or was that a fun surprise?
I did know that. I did know that. But the one thing that made this kind of interesting to me is this festival goes on for like 3 or 4 weekends.
Oh, okay.
In general. Okay. So not a parade every weekend. Right. There's different things going on each weekend. But it goes on for several weekends. So it was not super crowded.
Okay.
Compared to like what I'm used to at Dickens.
Yeah.
Around the parade time was the busiest.
Okay.
In all of the shopping and all of that we, in the stores and everything. But overall, I would say it was very, easy to move around.
Yeah.
Parking, I would say we had to park pretty far away. But that's just because it was a Saturday and,
and it's,
it's one of their busy
December,
weekends. Yeah. So anyhow, but one of the things I loved about it is it still has that very small town feel. So
that's cool.
From parking the car, the first thing we came to was a little church that was having women were hosting a little church bazaar.
I love it.
Selling their little handmade things.
Yes.
So you had everything for sale in there. Yeah. Pepper jellies and canned things.
Yeah.
And then you might have somebody, I mean, some of it we got even tickled, like, just country art.
Yes.
And,
I know.
Little wood carvings and things like that. And then, really gorgeous quilts. I took a couple pictures of really pretty quilts and just all kinds of things. But I just love that it's just that sweet small town, buying handmade things.
Yeah.
The next thing we came to was another church.
Okay.
And they were
everything's housed within the churches. That's
and
funny.
They're taking part in the crowd that's come.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the next church that we go in is having, I've never heard of this, a cookie walk.
Okay, like a cakewalk, maybe?
I thought, but it's not the same. It's different. This is brilliant, if you ask me.
Okay.
You walked in, there was a lady sitting there that had like the little cash drawer.
Okay.
And she says it's $10 to buy a tin, and it's just those little round tins.
Yeah.
And you fill it with homemade cookies that all the women have made. And there's tables of homemade cookies.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh,
just
that's
$10
great.
a tin. It was a fundraiser.
It should have been 20, but okay.
Should have been 20 because there was Buckeyes and
that is
all
brilliant.
different kinds of cookies that were yummy. And some of them were like probably cutting, just sugar cookies that they weren't all gourmet. Some of them were. Some of them were
still
chocolate dipped Oreos. And
like a couple episodes I talked about, the old fashioned cookie swap.
I know.
The brilliance of that because you get a variety. You get basically a sampler platter of cookies, and this is a good way to do that.
I thought this was so brilliant because who wouldn't buy a $10 tin of cookies, right? And then it's going for a good cause.
Yeah. We need to do this.
I said, I think I'm going to tell our youth group.
Yeah.
We need to do this next year because everybody in the church would probably buy a $10 tin of cookies. I'd
buy a couple because then I'd take some up to other places that I'm going to be traveling to. Just bring a tin with me. Yeah.
Now, I will say we went in there twice. We went in the morning.
Okay.
Because we were thinking, just to see what it was all about. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, well, we don't want to walk around
with your cookie tin.
So let's come back later.
Was that a poor decision?
Very poor decision. Because when we got back, it was really later, like sun gone down later. And there weren't a lot of choices.
They're like, we have Rice Krispie treats.
And sugar cookies. Which probably still would be worth $10. But anyway, so I would say, the early bird does truly get the worm in this cookie situation. But isn't that a brilliant idea? So, and with that, I was just getting the feel of this is such a cute small town. Okay, another thing I'll mention about it. Well, the Christmas parade was cute, but very short. I think it was 15 minutes.
Oh, that is short.
It's like one Boy Scout troop, one Girl Scout troop.
That might be representing everyone in town.
It is.
Yeah.
There was one high school band because there's one high school there. Just it was very short, but cute.
Yeah. They don't get people that travel in to be a part of their parade.
Their parade. That's correct. There's a park that's really close to the square. It's all around the square.
Okay.
And they have a gorgeous square.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And twinkling lights and all the trees. Their horse-drawn carriages are lit up. Like the little carriages are lit
fairy
up.
tale. Yeah.
Like it really is picturesque. Okay. So definitely would recommend going to this.
Yeah.
But there's a little park where people had set up chairs to hear the live music.
Okay.
And just as I was standing there for a few minutes, I overheard a man say, now the man you hear singing, he was not talking to me, but he was telling somebody else, the man you hear singing, that beautiful voice, and he did have a beautiful voice, he's the high school music teacher here.
Yeah.
It was things like that where you're just like, this is precious.
Yeah.
So anyhow, would definitely recommend going to the Dahlonega Old Fashioned Christmas
Okay,
Festival.
that's what it's called.
I think that's the name. And just enjoying music and shopping and all kinds of cute.
If you're a Hallmark movie watcher, did you know this?
There is one.
They recently filmed Christmas in Homestead.
Yes.
On the Dahlonega Square.
Okay.
So
it's very picturesque.
If you've seen that one or are going to be trying to see some Hallmark movies,
that's what
go
we're
watch
talking
Christmas
about.
in Homestead, because you'll see exactly where Lainey's talking about.
And just to put Dahlonega in perspective, it was an hour and a half north of Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So kind of, I guess I would say east of Dalton.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
check it out if you want to go do a little small town festival.
That's
it was sweet.
Fun. There's another good spot in Georgia called Helen, Georgia.
Yes. Never been at Christmas. I have been once.
Well, I haven't been at all, but I was intrigued because it's a Bavarian Christmas, and I went to Bavaria.
That's right.
This year. So,
that's right. And they're known for their Christmas markets, Germany.
Yes.
In that area.
Yeah. So, speaking of movies that have been filmed somewhere, Christmas Love Letter, a Lifetime film.
Okay.
Was filmed in Alpine Helen.
Uh-huh.
And it airs December 21st.
Oh, I might have to come over.
So, yeah, you can take in the sights from the movie while you're
well, they do a little German Christmas market there. I've not been to a German Christmas market, but they do one there in Helen, and it's just a cute little town.
Yeah.
Cute places to stay. And
oh, I bet.
Yeah.
They have like a historic site where you can see a home decorated in the period.
Oh, that's
period
cool.
Holiday decor,
which is usually
that would be like Victorian.
Yeah.
So you can do that on the weekends. And then, yeah, I saw some of their cabin rentals, and I would just say cozy.
Yeah.
Like super cozy looking. So that would be
fun. A fun one to visit as well.
Yeah. Natchitoches? No.
Oh,
do I say it right?
I think that's right.
Gosh, I feel like I've said it on like 4 different episodes now, and I never feel confident.
No, I think that's right. And we've got to go there one of these days.
Yeah. Louisiana.
Yes.
Home of Steel Magnolia's story.
Yes.
They have a festival of lights, which has over 300,000 Christmas lights and 100 lighted set pieces that are illuminated through their downtown. That is a lot of lights. They do it every evening at dusk through January 6th, I believe. So if you're even looking for post-Christmas stuff to do, this would be a fun one. Everything takes place in downtown Natchitoches and along the banks of the Cane River. That's their, like, historic district.
And it looks like just neat architecture. That area, it looks really cool. I'd like to visit there.
And you could stay at the Steel Magnolia's bed and breakfast where the movie was shot.
Or something. Yes. How cute. Yeah, we've got to make that trip one of these days. What's next? Well, there's a couple of ones that I thought sounded interesting. I've not been at Christmas, but Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yes, bourbon capital of the world.
They do light up Bardstown, and I just love that little cute town.
Yeah,
so
great main street, great shopping.
It looks very picturesque as well at Christmas time.
Yeah. If you're looking for something coastal, which maybe you are, you could check out Beaufort, North Carolina. They do the Crystal Coast Christmas Flotilla? Flotilla or
flotilla? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, it's boats, yachts, oars, kayaks, and every commercial vessel decorated for the season.
That is adorable.
That's precious. Now, that has actually already happened this year, but I will say you could still have a lot of fun in this town because they've got whimsical shops, really good dining, it sounds like really good chefs there. They've got, cozy inns and B&Bs that line the harbor. If you are a Nicholas Sparks fan, he has set 2 of his novels in Beaufort. Okay. There's one called The Choice and one called A Walk to Remember. Both of those take place in Beaufort. So, but yeah, I mean, it sits right on the Atlantic Ocean. They do candlelight home tours, brunch with Santa.
Oh, nice.
This was fun because, we have and mentioned the Dickens of a Christmas festival we have here. They do a Christmas Eve Charles Dickens dinner at the Beaufort Hotel. And so all of the servers are dressed in Victorian era garb. And I do think that's probably a reservation only because it's only Christmas Eve.
Okay.
But I just thought that
very
was
special dinner.
Yeah.
If you were over on that side of the country.
Yes.
Wow, that would be cool. I've never seen a boat parade.
I haven't either.
Christmas boat parade. That sounds adorable. Well, Virginia has some, did I already mention? I think I already mentioned.
You did.
I mentioned Williamsburg.
And Alexandria.
Yeah, Charlottesville as well.
Oh.
It's supposed to be really pretty at Christmas time.
Cool.
And I mentioned Mount Vernon near Alexandria, but Monticello is near Charlottesville. And I just think those historic homes of, for goodness sakes, Washington and Jefferson, how cool to see those decorated at Christmas.
Yeah.
Probably pretty simple, but sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Just another idea.
Beautiful. I think that was all on my list of small towns. I mean, I could kind of go on because there's a lot of great small towns.
Asheville.
Across the South.
For goodness sakes, we've talked about Asheville a lot, but it's gorgeous. And I still would love to see Oxford, Mississippi for Christmas.
Or in general.
Or just in general. That was just one I wanted to mention, though.
Yeah.
Well, they apparently do a gingerbread house village. They have a Santa's workshop. They also do a Christmas parade, which probably has already happened. I'm not sure, but
that's fun.
That would be a fun place to visit as well.
Absolutely. Well, I would just say, whether you're near a small town or not, all of the things that we're describing, you could recreate in your own sort of home.
Even if you are in a bigger place.
Yeah.
Some church is doing a women's bazaar there, too. Some Boy Scout troop is selling their Christmas trees. And so you can find the little sweet nooks and crannies in your big town.
Yes.
Big city.
I would probably say the one thing I've already missed this year that I'm like, was our Christmas rummage sale. I didn't really get to spend much time. Yeah. But I love a good rummage sale.
Yeah, things like that.
We had Christmas
it's a good
decorations.
Cause and you're, And you made fun of me because I had something in my hand and I'm supposed to be getting rid of. But anywho.
I could hear Christmas in Dixie as I was doing the research for all of this recording. It's just one of the marching bands in the Franklin Parade was playing that. And they were actually
That's a surprise.
No, they were here from Alabama. So we had
we had out-of-town
We had out-of-towners that came to participate. So that's why I was kind of laughing at
Dahlonega didn't.
Dahlonega not having that because, they might as
in the future.
As they get more on the map with more people seeing the Hallmark movies. And
that's true.
I mean, no joke.
That brings attention.
It does.
Sometimes you want it, sometimes you don't.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, anyway, but I did want to ask you just as we close it, because I meant to ask you in the beginning, why do you think we want to be in a small town for Christmas? Because I do feel like that's not just something that we chose as a topic. I think everybody kind of wants that main street to walk.
It's true.
I don't know
if it comes from the old classic movies that you want that. Perhaps that plays into it. I mean, even think about, as cheesy as we all know they are, we all love those Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
Because they're at least going to have a good ending.
Yeah.
Those are usually typically in smaller towns.
Yes, that's true.
And so, you just feel like there's a slower pace of life even in smaller towns. I
wondered if we're is there more peace found in a small town, and so that makes for a better Christmas, or
that's
a better
good question, Laura.
Something you're grabbing for
You're
Christmas.
asking a really good question in this, because I'm thinking back to just this weekend in Dahlonega. Okay, so we didn't park right on the square. We had to park a ways away, but it wasn't like we had. If you were in New York City and you had blocks to walk.
I was going to say, and if you had to pay even at all, I'm sure it wasn't $20.
We didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have walked by those two particular churches, perhaps, if that's not where we'd parked.
Yeah.
So even little things like that,
I
think just make for a slower pace.
Yeah.
We weren't we have to be at this, and so we got to leave by this, and
right.
It wasn't like that at all. In fact, I mentioned that. I said, I think my favorite thing about this day is we're not on a time schedule.
Right. Because there's kind of less things that are pulling us in different directions. Yeah. And so today is what it is.
So that's a great question, and I don't have a firm answer, but I think it's all of that.
Well, and I just wondered if most of us grew up in a small town. Mm-hmm. And so the nostalgia
is
that we are wanting to draw from is represented in that small town. So it may be a different main street, but it at least is a main street. Yeah. So it kind of reminds us of our...
I would say more people grew up in that kind of a thing than they did go into Rockefeller Plaza.
Exactly. Yeah.
A few people grew up like that, but probably not that many.
Yeah. Yeah. Or sitting in a lot of traffic somewhere. Most people. Yeah. It's interesting. So, anyway.
Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful second week of December. Whatever you do, just enjoy, savor every moment of this sweet season with your family, your friends, or find people if you don't have those close by.
That's good. That's good. Well, thanks for joining us on this little journey through the South of small towns celebrating Christmas. And we will see y'all here next time.
Have a good week.